When you think of a medieval knight, what comes to mind? A valiant warrior, clad in shining armor, riding a noble steed and fighting for the good of his king and country. Well, not so fast, because when it came to medieval knights, there was more than met the eye. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to talk about a few things you didn't know about medieval knights. So get ready to have your mind blown as we reveal the shocking truth about these legendary warriors. Did you know many knights were mercenaries, fighting for whoever paid the most? When you picture a medieval knight, you might imagine a loyal soldier, steadfastly devoted to his king and crown, but the reality was far more mercenary. In fact, during the Middle Ages, it was common for knights to fight for whoever paid them the most, not for some noble cause or sense of duty. Knights were hired by the highest bidder, making them essentially mercenaries. This meant that a knight's loyalty could be bought by any nobleman or kingdom willing to pay their price, often leading to shifting alliances and a blurring of the lines between good and evil. So the next time you hear about a brave knight who fought for justice, remember, they probably just fought for the guy who paid them first. Some knights like the Knights Templar became so powerful that kings feared them. Now let's talk about an example of a mercenary gone rogue. The Knights Templar were a holy order of warriors founded in the 12th century with the goal of protecting pilgrims on their way to the Holy Land. But these guys took things too far. As they grew in power and wealth, the Templars became a force to be reckoned with, even to the French king who created them. In 1152, when Louis VII needed to raise funds, he turned to the Templars for help. But instead of getting the money he needed, he was threatened by the order's Grand Master, Bernard of Clairvaux, who basically told him to pound sand. This wasn't an isolated incident. The Templars had become so powerful that they were essentially a state within a state, answerable only to God and their own internal hierarchy. They controlled vast tracts of land, had their own legal system, and even minted their own currency. It wasn't until 1188 that the order was finally disbanded after being accused of heresy and other crimes. But their legacy as a feared and powerful force in medieval Europe lives on. So next time you hear about the Knights Templar, remember, they weren't just some holy order of do-gooders. They were ruthless, power-hungry warriors who weren't afraid to take on kings. So the next time you think of knights, forget the fairy tales. They weren't just shining heroes on horseback. They were warriors shaped by war, politics, faith, and ambition. Some lived with honor, others with greed, but all left behind a legacy that still fascinates the world today. Alright, now we've talked about how most knights were mercenaries and how some orders like the Templars became so powerful that even kings feared them. Let's sum it up with this. Medieval knights were complex individuals who fought for a variety of reasons, not just for glory or the good of their king. Remember, these guys were real people with real motivations and desires, not just cardboard cutouts of chivalrous heroes. They were products of their time, shaped by the wars, politics, religion, and personal ambitions that defined the Middle Ages. Sure, some were honorable and fought for justice, while others were power-hungry and sought wealth and dominance. But all of them played a vital role in the history of medieval Europe. So next time you think of a medieval knight, don't just picture a guy in shining armor. Remember the complexities, the contradictions, and the humanity of these legendary warriors. Alright, that's all for today. But if you want to learn more about medieval knights, check out the resources below. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an exciting episode. Until then, stay curious and keep learning.